Welcome to Mojoyminds.
Imagine you are standing on the banks of the Zaandam River in the late 17th century. The air doesn't smell like the sea, though it's close. It smells of sawn timber, roasted cocoa, and pungent oil. Before you, a skyline unlike anything else in the world rises from the mist. Hundreds of giant wooden towers, their sails spinning so fast they hum, dominate the horizon. To a traveler from London or Paris in 1670, this wasn't just a town, it was a glimpse into a sci-fi future. This is Zaandam. But as you walk through the streets, a question strikes you. Why is everything green? Not just a few doors, but every house, every shed, every fence a sea of deep forest emerald trimmed with bone-white lace. This isn't just a design choice. It is a story of chemistry, survival, and the birth of the modern world. The crankshaft revolution. To understand the color, we first have to understand the power. In the 1500s, the Zaandam region was a swampy, wind-whipped wasteland. It was too soft for heavy stone buildings and too wet for traditional farming. But the people of the Zaandam had two things: relentless wind and a man named Cornelis Zoon. In 1594, Cornelis Zoon did something that changed history. He took a windmill and attached a crankshaft to it. This converted the circular spin of the sails into a powerful, rhythmic up and down motion. Suddenly, a single windmill could saw wood 30 times faster than two men with a handsaw. This was the big bang of industry. While the rest of the world was still building by hand, Zaandam became the world's first industrial zone. Within decades, 600 windmills lined the river. They were the engines of the Dutch Golden Age. They sawed the timber for the ships that conquered the spice trade. They ground the rags for the paper that the American Declaration of Independence would later be written on. And they crushed the seeds for the oil that lit the lamps of Europe. The CZAR and the secret shipyards. Because wood was now cheaper and more plentiful here than anywhere on Earth, Zaandam became the shipbuilding capital of the planet. It was so famous that it attracted the most unlikely of spies. In 1697, a giant of a man nearly 7 feet tall arrived in Zaandam. He dressed as a common carpenter and went by the name Peter Michaelhoff. But the locals weren't easily fooled. This was Peter the Great, the Tsar of all Russia. He didn't come for a vacation, he came to get his hands dirty. He lived in a tiny, cramped wooden house, which you can still see today, leaning precariously inside a stone shell, and worked in the shipyards to learn the magic of Dutch efficiency. He took the secrets of Zaandam back to Russia to build a navy and a new capital, St. Petersburg, the secret of the green paint. But we return to our mystery. Why the green? The answer lies in the paint mills. Among the 600 windmills were specialized giants like the Cat. These mills ground minerals and chemicals into pigments. One of the most common byproducts of the local copper industry was verdigris, a bright green crust that forms on copper when exposed to vinegar. The Zaandam people were practical. They lived on peat soil, basically a giant sponge. Brick was too heavy, it would sink. So they built with light, flexible wood. But wood rots in the Dutch rain. They needed a preservative. They found that this cheap, copper-based green pigment wasn't just a color, it was toxic to fungus and wood-boring insects. They coated their houses in it to keep them from being eaten by the swamp. If this information makes you want to hop on a plane and fly to Zaandam, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos like this. Help Mojoyminds grow as you grow. Now let's continue. The white was the final touch. Lead white paint was expensive. If you were a wealthy merchant, you showed your status by painting your window frames and ornate neck gables in brilliant white. The more white lace your house had, the deeper your pockets were. MONET and the modern legacy. The magic of this green city eventually caught the eye of the world's greatest artists. In 1871, Claude Monet spent months here. He was so obsessed with the shifting reflections of the green houses in the water that he painted 25 masterpieces of the town. He famously painted one blue house that stood out from the sea of green, a house that still stands as a rebel landmark today. Today, when you step off the train at Zaandam, you are met with a sight that feels like a fever dream. The Intel Hotel. It is a massive, 12-story stack of 70 traditional green houses, all piled on top of each other, with one single blue house at the very top. It is a monument to a city that refused to sink into the peat. From the first crankshaft to the Tsar's secret apprenticeship, And from the toxic green protection to Monet's canvas, Zaandam remains a testament to what happens when human ingenuity meets the power of the wind. Next time you see that specific shade of Zaan's green, remember, you aren't just looking at a color. You're looking at the paint that protected the world's first industrial revolution.
Garantani. Till the next video.